Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands with your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather.
Hey everybody, this is Jay.CA with Against the Grave, and you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, a.k.a. the Bodfather. As always, I bring you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a privilege to have Mr. Jay.CA, bassist of Against the Grave. Newly formed metal band Against the Grave have released their first official single and video for Killing Us Slowly, and that's out now. So we're going to be talking to Jay about that. So, man, how's it going?
Good. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, how is everybody? Hope everybody's enjoying their day, night, afternoon, whatever it is, wherever you are. Crack open a beer and enjoy this interview, because I don't know what we're talking about, but I'm sure it's going to be wonderful. I'm doing great, man. It's getting toward the end of it's like late afternoon where I am right now, home from work. Crack open a beer. Let's talk about some fun stuff.
How's it been working with tag publicity so far for you guys?
You know what? It's been okay. You know, we of course we're on that, we're that new band. We don't have a ton of momentum going beforehand. Everything that we have to build it up. And part of that is, working, you got to have a team. It's always been a team in the music industry. Pretty much any business. You can't really do everything yourself. You don't have enough time in the day to handle everything. So we decided, we're going to hire a team. Jordan, our singer, has dealt with Tom George and Tag PR in the past, and they've done well. If we had a whole bunch more money, we'd be able to be doing a much bigger campaign. But because we're all working for the man just like everybody else, the budget's a little tight. But so far it's been really good. They started with us, kind of prepped for the release of the video and the single. Once it came out, they were doing their thing on their side, and we had a lot of action, a lot of interactions with different online magazines and web pages and whatnot. Hitting us up on Facebook, throwing out the mentions and getting our name out there. Because that's really what it's about. If whatever you have to put out there, if nobody knows about it, it doesn't matter. So we realized we got to work with the team and get our name out, get people to check us out, check out the video, check out the music, and hopefully love it and pass it on to their friends. Keep it going. The whole pyramid scheme type deal. No, not quite. But I mean, that's just it. If you play a show and somebody shows up and they love it and they tell a couple of their friends, and then their friends listen to the music and see the artwork and the overall concept, and they love it, and each one of them tells a couple of their friends, before you know it, you've got hundreds, thousands of people that you never had any personal interaction with, that are just like, hey man, look, you guys are awesome. Come to our town, play our venue. And that's what we're looking to do.
I was sitting here checking my email a couple weeks ago, and I got an email from Jordan. He's like, hey man, check out my new band. I was like, well, wait a second. What happened to Final Drive? So I started listening to it.
He gets that. Yeah, he gets that question a lot.
This is pretty cool. How did this all come together, and who got the ball rolling first for Against the Grave to come together?
Really, what happened was my previous band, my two guitar players, Andy and Dennis, we were in a band called Media Solution. And Media Solution Andy's originally from Italy. Band started in Italy, and back in 2010-ish, they all moved out to the States and got the ball rolling out here. And then since then, the lineup has changed. I came into it. Dennis came into it. We kind of had I don't want to say a stalemate, just we were at a point where we were working with a management group out of Connecticut. And just so happened, Jordan's band was on the same management group. And when they came through Southern California on a tour a few years ago, it was in January for the Anaheim NAMM show. And so our manager, myself, and the rest of the guys in the band were at the NAMM show. Jordan's band Final Drive was coming through on a tour, so they were at NAMM show. So I got to meet Final Drive and Jordan. And when Jordan and I first met, he and I we're of the same mindset. We just clicked. We just got along really well. Fast forward a few months from that point, you know, we were looking for a singer. We were looking for a drummer. Our manager suggested, well, you guys are hard workers and you're looking for a singer. Jordan's a hard worker and he's kind of at the end of his run with Final Drive. Why don't you guys do something together? And we kind of kicked it around for a little while. Jordan contacted us. The three of us guys in the band, we talked about it, and we sent him some demo tracks just to see, hey, here's what we got for demo tracks. What can you do with them? Man, I talked to Jordan on, one morning, and I sent him a couple of songs at 11 o'clock in the morning. By the time I got home at 4 or 5 in the afternoon, he had those 4 or 5 tracks recorded with vocals on them already.
Jeez.
And I went, holy shit, this guy is a hustler. It amazed me because the songs weren't finished. They were in demo track mode. It was just like, hey man, just throw some stuff down, see what you think, what do you got for it? And he went through all the songs and had vocals for every song. And I was impressed that a guy would take something that wasn't even quote unquote ready for vocals and he just threw it down. Now, of course, since then, where we are now, everything has changed. Everything has evolved with the songs, the music, the vocals. But he and I clicked. I was totally impressed with his hustle, his vocal tone. And since then, we went for it. I think the first time we all got together was maybe May of 2018. He flew out from St. Louis, flew out to LA, and we got in there and jammed some songs out, recorded some stuff. And with digital technology and being able to trade files through emails and apps, and we all have recording equipment. We record, we email it to each other. You can edit it, record over it, and we just keep trading these files back and forth. A lot of people will say, he lives in St. Louis. You guys are from LA. How can you guys have a band and write? It's like, well, digital technology is killing it for us. So that's made it really great. So from there, I mean, like I said, everything from the beginning seemed to click, and we pushed through, and we've got a bunch of songs that are recorded and ready to go. But we want to tease people, so we only want to do one song at a time, one video. The key is you got to keep them wanting more. Supply and demand, baby. You give everybody too much stuff, and they don't know what to do with it. So. No, that's not really it. We want to do it right. All of us are I'd say in the industry, especially as a new band, we're kind of those older guys. Most new bands are 20, 25 years old. We've all done this for years, and we've seen the mistakes. There is no formula to how to do this, but you got to be calculated. You got to look at it right. We want to do it right, not just go at it willy-nilly, fly by the seat of your pants, record a bunch of music and throw it out there, and the whole throw it at the wall and see what sticks. It's like, well, let's be more strategic about this and go at it with a better sense. Like, what's our purpose? And like I said, being older and doing this for years, we know what we want from it. So that's the way we're going. Is let's do it right. Let's do it right, and let's get good music out to the people. Let's play some shows.
When this came together immediately with you guys, you started writing on and putting music together. Did it kind of shock you a little bit that all this was coming together so fast and the music was getting out there pretty quickly, song-wise, creating music? Well,
like I said, when we met, I don't want to say I wasn't shocked how fast things came together with Jordan, because I was initially impressed with his hustle and his style and his work ethic, that it was just natural to work together. So now we go for it, and getting everything out there. We just released the band back in February, and we just recently, a couple of weeks back, released the first single and video. And sometimes it seems like it came out of nowhere, but we have been putting quite a bit of time into this. So, and I think that's if you look at most bands that seem to pop up out of nowhere, you look back at their history, and they've been doing the work. They've been putting in time beforehand to get it to that level. So I'm glad that people see it as coming out of nowhere and hitting hard. That's awesome. But, it's a lot of hard work, it's a lot of dedication. No, I'm kidding. It is hard work, but it's fun. It's fun, and I'm glad to see the response to the music and the video that we've gotten so far. It's cool to create something from nothing and then have people excited about it. It's definitely why I do this. That's probably my favorite part of it is you're creating something by yourself, and people just, the people that love it, they're just so into it. And it's heartwarming.
We had a tender moment with Jay there.
Every once in a while. I'll talk shit to you all day long, but every once in a while you go, oh, he's just a big teddy bear.
Then he just stabs you.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Any songs standing out more to you than any right now, if you can talk about it, that you have written or recorded if possible, that may be coming up pretty soon, maybe?
Coming up pretty soon. We do have a couple. Obviously, Killing Us Slowly was the one that really kind of struck the nerve with all of us right away, because it's just that it's not a super fast song, but it's just a pumping drive song, and it kind of hits you hard all the way through. So that one, we definitely wanted to put that one out first, because it just seemed to be the most kind of hit it and quit it type song, where it blasts you in the face. It's only about 2 minutes and 40 seconds long, and then it's done. You're like, well, let's play that one again.
That's right.
We do have a couple of other ones that we have plans for. One in particular, it'll probably be our third release. It's one that really kind of shows a different, I don't want to say diversity, but it just shows a different, instead of just being this kind of hardcore rock driving song, it has a little bit more melodic things going on in the choruses. But that's one that we really want to put some time into. And when we release it, we really like to do really big production video on it. So, of course, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some money, some planning. But we have a number 2 song that we're getting ready right now and figuring out where we want to go with the video and how we want to put it out. But the next one's going to be a little bit faster, but it's going to be that similar style, just kind of, punch you in the face for about 2.5 minutes, and then we're out. Yeah, I can't say too much because I don't want to give too much away, but yeah, the next 2 coming up are pretty good ones. We have a bunch of songs that are ready to go, but it's like no matter what musician you talk to, out of all their songs, they will always have a couple of favorites, like, oh, I love playing this one, or like the way this one sounds, and we're the same. We've got a bunch of songs. We have our favorites. We like them all. Because if you don't like all of your songs, well, then you shouldn't be playing them. Because if you don't like your product, you're not going to sell it very well.
Yeah. But
we do have our favorites that kind of hit you in the right places.
How can we stand behind it if you guys can't, So.
Well, that's exactly it. My dad had an old saying, about a salesman, like he couldn't do anything to save his life, but he was such a good salesman. He could sell ice cubes to the Eskimos.
Are we going to get a EP release or a full album?
You know what? To be honest, we haven't decided how we're going to do that yet. Just in the climate that we're in with the music industry and streaming, album sales now they're nothing what they were 10 years ago, and 10 years ago they were nothing what they were 30 years ago. But with the digital aspect of streaming and especially years ago with torrents and people basically downloading music illegally, the days of selling albums, it honestly doesn't make a lot of sense, because there's no, you're putting out so much time and so much effort, and there's no, you can't even recover your money. So it's I want to say it's lost, and I don't want to get all negative on the way the industry is. I'm not. It's just it's a new evolution of the way of doing things. Because even if you put out an entire album or an EP, you go on to these different apps and services, and you buy one song at a time. So I'm not sure we really see at this point right now, we don't have any plans of throwing out a full album right away. Throwing out singles with cool videos, I think that's where the entertainment value is. And it leaves more to the imagination of, well, what else, or the curiosity of the fans saying, what else is there? Well, when we come through on tours and come through your town, that's when you'll see the full spectrum of everything that's going on. And, I've grown up being in that age of albums and cassettes, and then in the CDs. It was always super exciting to get a new batch of music. But now it just doesn't seem like there's not really demand for it. People don't care. Why put something out there if people aren't really interested? If that makes any sense. Like I said, I don't want to get negative on it and make it sound like, oh, well, nobody buys records anymore. But the reality is people really aren't buying records anymore. You want to do some like a special release of an album on vinyl. I think that's cool, because you still have a lot of these people that are collectors of albums, and they'll buy that stuff up. And it's more of a collectible than it is an actual media. So yeah, I don't want to break anybody's heart and say that we're not going to do an EP or we're not going to do an album. It's just in the plan right now. In the near future, we really want to focus on getting the songs and the videos out, and then push that to that level of touring and getting out there and doing the live shows. Because for me, in my opinion, your live show is the most important. If you can't perform to your top level and impress people and put on a great show, then your album doesn't matter anyways. Go to your songs. I said to somebody recently that your music has to be great. Your album, your production, your recording quality has to be awesome. But then your live show better smoke your album. People better listen to your album after seeing your live show and say, yeah, the album's cool, but man, their live show. And there's a couple of bands that I've been around throughout the years that their live show just smoked their albums. Like, they were so good live. Going to shows over the years, you can't replicate a good show. Even if somebody, you see all these kids holding their phones up, recording the shows during the concert. They paid $30, $40, $50, $60 to get into a concert, and they're recording it, watching it on a little 5-inch screen so they can live stream it or put it on their Facebook or wherever. And the people that are watching it, you're not going to get that same experience by watching it on a video that you would going to a live show. So we wanted to get out there and do live shows and put our music out there that way. So it's more of an experience, and it's a memory in their life than, oh yeah, well, there's Against the Grave CD over there. I listen to it every once in a while. Like, I want that first impression of what we do to hit that hard, not to be this gradual buildup.
The official music video for Killing Us Slowly was directed by Nathan Karma Cox. How was working with him on this?
Working with Nathan is awesome. I've worked with Nathan before, Media Solution Projects. He's just an all-around fun, good guy to be around. And I think that's part of his nickname, Karma, is that he's just a good guy. He does right by people. He's always taking care of us. And his vision on videos is just really cool. Like, we may come in with an idea, like, hey, what about this? And it's like you just broke open a piñata, and it's like, yeah, dude, oh, we could do this, we could do that. What about? And then as you're doing it, he's like, oh, I just had this thought. What if we do it like this? Let's get this shot. Let's see if it works. And then, ultimately in the editing process and the final cuts, you see how everything comes together. His brain works in a completely insane way that I don't understand. Like I'm just as crazy as anybody, but his brain works different than mine, and he has these visions for how he wants them to look and how he wants them to be presented. And it's great. Like you said, how is it working with him? It's fun. I mean, of course, when you're doing the video and you're standing out in the sun, it's a long day, but it's fun to do it because you know what you're going toward at the end, and that it's going to be exciting. It's going to be interesting to watch. So putting in that long day or days, depending on the video shoot, it's just a good time. And he's never that director that is, oh, well, no, you guys don't understand. This is my vision. This is how we're going to do it. He's so open-minded and cool. Like every idea, he will entertain. I mean, unless it's a stupid idea, but nobody ever has any stupid ideas.
Who did the cover art for the single, man?
Jordan did that cover art.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's pretty badass.
Yeah, the pictures. Jordan and I we spitballed a lot on that, going back and forth what it would be and what to use. And you notice the cars on the cover art are from the video. We had taken some photos and stuff during the shoot, and then the silhouette in the background is actually a silhouette of us from a band promo photo shoot. And he just kind of threw it together. We had this whole, grindhouse kind of feel that we wanted to go for. And just the way the video turned out, kind of this comic booky grindhouse type of look. And it evolved, but it came out great. But yeah, Jordan is a really talented designer when it comes to what the look of something should be. Sometimes he's a pain in the ass to work with because he's super particular.
Yeah.
But it's like he and I both have OCD in different ways. So every once in a while we'll cross paths and it'll work out great. And other times we're just like picking at each other. But when it comes to the cover art, yeah, he did a good job. And we went back and forth, like you said, on some things, and the rest of the guys in the band were, oh yeah, it's okay. Oh, that's cool. And then when he did that one, it was like, yes, that's the one. That one's cool.
What do you hope everyone takes away from this single, or message you hope to hear while listening to it, or just any of Against the Grave's music in general once everything comes out?
Well, of course, when everything comes out, there's never everything going to be out because we're constantly writing and we're constantly going to have new ideas and new stuff. But I think the overall, the overall concept and the ideology of the way we all think, I think was the same for Final Drive. And what Jordan's thought process is the world that we live in. We're not the one percenters. We're not the multi-billionaires. We're not the controllers. But we have to live in this world. And we get this idea that we do have control. Oh, we can vote. We have the freedom. And it's like, it keeps the people happy for the time being. And it's more of this, don't sit in front of the TV and watch the news. Don't, look at all these other internet news outlets and take what they say as absolute fact and form your opinion. Like you have to be open-minded and look at everything. And it's more about being educated and trying to see what's really going on in this world and the fight that people are creating amongst each other. And it's not about that. It's about, I don't want to say it's about being woke because I hate that word, but the idea of being aware of what's going on around you and what's happening, but ultimately realizing it's not going to last forever. I've got a lot of favorite quotes from the movie Fight Club. And one of them, Tyler Durden says, "We're polishing the brass on the Titanic. It's all going down." Like, that's really what it is. No matter what you do in life, we only have a certain amount of time on this earth, and then it's over. So make the best of it because you can't take any of it with you. So do your best that you can in life. Do right by people. Take care of other people, but also educate people. And every once in a while you have to, especially friends, see friends go in the wrong direction. You got to knock them back into place. But ultimately it's about as a whole taking care of each other and not letting anybody else bring you down.
Has it been more of a personal growth for each of you, or has it just been like a breath of fresh air getting Against the Grave off the ground?
I'd say it's a little bit of both. It's a little column A, a little column B. it's personal growth, because as long as whatever business you're in, there's always that evolution, that learning, that changing, that getting better at honing your craft. But the breath of fresh air is when you find a group of guys, whether it's just a group of friends that you're just hanging out with, and you enjoy each other's company and do fun stuff with. It's that breath of fresh air that you finally found people that you're like-minded. You see the same light, and you're constantly fighting each other. And it's the same thing with a lineup in a band, because everybody always says, singers, they're pretentious, and lead guitar players, they're showy, and the bass player is always a dick. And it's like, we have all these different personalities as the players, and being in bands for so long, you run across different guys. You've been in with different people that have, maybe they're not in it for the same reasons. I don't want to say the right reasons, but if you're not on the same page, the chemistry and the gel won't be there. How do you get anything done when you can't even agree on what you're going to have for dinner, type of thing? So yeah, I'd say a breath of fresh air, yes, but also personal growth, because finding the guys that want to do the same thing is awesome. Because now it's all right. That's where the breath of fresh air comes in. Now we can move forward instead of fighting on all these dumb things that don't even matter.
When you guys take this out on the road, what can fans expect at a show from Against the Grave? Well,
mosh pits, for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Metal horns, beer. No, I'd love to perform. That's definitely a fun aspect of being in a band and getting out there. And we have as much fun as the people in the crowd. And that's great to see the crowd going as ape shit as you are on stage. But what to expect? Probably a 30 to 45 minute punch in the face, and then go have some shots at the bar.
What made you want to become a musician, Jay? What was the spark that said, this is what I want to do?
You know what? Ever since I was a little kid, my dad was he was an old school 50s hot rodder kid, liked cars. I had older brothers that liked cars and wrenching, but we always had motorcycles, snowmobiles, and skateboards and BMX bikes, and it was all about that stuff. For me, I never really got into sport. It just never did anything for me. It was always about doing something. But when I was a little kid in one of my elementary schools, they had a music class that you could sign up for, and I signed up for it. And of course, my older brothers made fun of me because I was a band nerd. And from there, I ended up trading an RC truck to one of my friends for a guitar. His brother was in Army boot camp and was away. So he took his brother's guitar and traded it to me. So I ended up with a guitar. I played saxophone as a little kid. I just always liked music. I liked, my brothers, them growing up in the 80s and always listening to albums. And then, it was kind of the birth of MTV, and you get to see this whole aspect. Something about music music affected me in a different way than I think, the majority of people. Some people don't find music important. It's just a background to their life, and they don't really recognize it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, for me, it was at a different level. And, I switched from saxophone to tuba in high school. I switched from guitar to bass in high school, playing in the jazz band. And of course, you always have these little garage bands growing up. I don't know if there was any key moment that just changed my mind as this is what I want to do. It's just something that's always been there. Music has always been a big part of my life, and the way different songs affect you, or you listen to a song, an old song now, and it takes you back to a memory in a time in your life. And so now that song becomes important because that memory was great. It's just something it's been a part of me. So I just always wanted to do it, and I've been doing it, and I will keep doing it. And when it's not fun anymore, then I'll stop. But I don't ever see that happening. If my hands get chopped off, I'm sure I'll figure out some way to do music.
Killing Us Slowly has been out for a little bit now. Is there a country that stands out or shocks you that Against the Grave is getting support from, or this song is even being played in that area possibly? Have you seen any reports?
Nothing, not to any large scale. Of course, we watch the analytics on everything and see where things are going. But I think at this point, the music's still a little too new and hasn't quite, with the internet, Facebook, and things like that, the music can go anywhere. And we've had some hits in other countries, but right now the States, obviously, where we're from and where we're branching out to, it seems to be the biggest hit. But we would really, we'd love it to go worldwide. I know from touring in Europe in the past, seeing other bands, other friends' bands play in Europe. It's just, man, the crowds are just insane out in Europe. States has kind of become desensitized, I guess is what I want to say. Where we live in the States is just there's just so much stuff going on with celebrities and athletes and musicians and political issues and social and civil issues. There's just so much going on. I don't think people know where to really focus their energy. But you go over to Europe and people just go nuts. So I'd love to get over to Europe. But definitely, we always want to tour the States. Touring your home country is a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. But I'd love to take it further. I've never been to Australia. I've never toured Australia or South America. But I see those shows, and that's going to be a blast. So hopefully, in the coming months here, we can push this music out further and get it out to these other countries, so that we can, when you ask this question in 6 months, we go, oh, dude, UK or Germany, like these guys are eating it up. I'd love to be able to say that.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, hell yeah, for sure. Folks, you want to get out and pick up Against the Grave's new single that's out right now, their debut single, actually, Killing Us Slowly. Jay, how can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy this single, tour dates, all that good stuff, when this all goes down? How can he do that?
Right now, we're everywhere. We're Facebook, Instagram, Bandcamp, Spotify, YouTube. We have our website, againstthegrave.com. Pretty much any social media outlet or if you get on the internet and get on our website, it will have links to everything. And when tour dates pop up, they will be everywhere. We will make sure that everybody knows, because we want to see all the faces out there.
Before I let you go, good sir, would you care to do a promo for my show?
Sure. What do you want me to say? Something fun? Or something really boring?
Fun.
Hey, everybody. This is Jay.CA with Against the Grave, and you are listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our podcast link, YouTube link, and soon our Twitch link. Also, get out and check out Against the Grave's debut single called Killing Us Slowly. I'm definitely positive that you guys are going to dig this band. So get out and check them out. So, Jay, man, I wish you guys the best of luck, and you're always welcome on here, dude.
Thanks, man. We appreciate it.
You're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.